Inteligente.
Ojo que tiene hambre para seguir buscando esta pelota. Ricardo ahora va a hacer un fake para que llegue para atrás el señor Gallo.
A vibe vai mais além do trabalho, né? A gente tem sim uma amizade muito da hora. Eu acho que isso ajuda muito no jogo, nossa amizade.
Furia va a ir al Major. Furia va a Los Ángeles. Siguiente representante de Sudamérica.
Aqui é Fúria e a gente veio para Los Angeles para fazer acontecer.
They came here to make it happen. Their expectation is to make the playoffs. That's their goal, Gibbs, here. But they have a long... This is the big match that's in front of them right now.
This is huge because it's two 1-0 teams. And if you begin 2-0, not only that, you play back-to-back. So you win this series and you get that momentum going into the final one to try for a 3-0 group. And then you're going into the playoffs in the upper bracket. That's where everyone wants to be.
Exactly. Everyone wants to be there. And I think this team is exactly... They have the energy. They bring the energy. They bring the gameplay. I don't think... there's some people that expect the Fury to be here and be in this spot to put them in #1 seed contention. But, like, I got to bring it over here to the NRG, boy.
Don't do that.
Because they... embarrassed your roster yesterday.
Listen, and it was behind this man Yannick's on the screen right now. Like, this roster has been together for a while. They've been, you know, shown a lot of ups and downs. Again, we saw them at the Fall Major. Didn't necessarily have the best performance, and now, again, they're back with kind of like a redemption story here. They're looking for more. They're looking for the playoffs. And with the win against NRG, they're proving that, hey, you know, you need to put us in the conversation. You need to start talking about us. And it's going to be a tough matchup for Endpoint. I don't think Endpoint really know what they're getting into.
I think Furia, this might actually be the harder of the two matches, given the mentality of these two teams, Gibbs.
So I think so, because like after that big win versus NRG, where it's like, it's just first match, and now it's day 2, though, where Endpoint's coming in. They've been here before. They're used to this. Furia, they have been here before, but they usually fall short. And that has always been a big moment for them where they'll go into scrims. They are monsters in scrims and can do so well against everyone. But every time they're on the main stage, they fall short. But who knows? Maybe now it's finally time, because they've only had, you know, 2 or 3 majors in front of them or lands, and now maybe Furia. It's time for them to shine and get to that top 8 spot.
I think... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, these stats are mad important here because you got to think about it. Furia's a very offensive team.
Yeah, offense, defense.
Averaging 10 shots per game against Endpoint, who are one of the more defensive-minded teams here. It's really going to be a battle on, 1, how hard do Furia hit Endpoint? And then 2, how can Furia survive the Endpoint counterattack? I think that's going to be a really big point when we watch this series.
I agree with you 100%. I think Furia is the more aggressive team, and I think as soon as the game starts, they have to be on the attack. As soon as they have to catch Endpoint off guard in order to have the most success in the series.
I am concerned for Furia here, given how hungry I think the Endpoint roster is across the board. We talk about Metsunaris being a veteran player. He's one of the longest-standing, like, kind of top 3 performers who has yet to get a world championship under their belt and who has very few major wins. He has many grand final appearances, many semifinal appearances, very few wins. You know he's hungry for it. In a way, I think the roster of NRG maybe has kind of forgotten that level of hunger. They've gotten so many wins.
And we've seen Endpoint, like Regional 3, they played on dining room chairs, and they made it to the finals anyway. It doesn't matter where they're playing, they play well. And now they're in those comfortable chairs. I think they're ready for this.
And they're not even sitting in them, they're standing.
They are. They have to do their exercises first. They do a couple star jumps, and then we'll be ready to go.
It's a little wild to me that's how I don't know, the physicality of that team is pretty cool. Let's see what you guys at home think about this match, though. Endpoint versus Furia. Get your votes into the Verizon fan vote here. Hashtag END, hashtag FUR, depending on which side you fall on here. And let's just go down the line. Let's start with you, Dazrin.
Okay, so this matchup is kind of similar of another matchup that we saw yesterday with G2 and EG. Though, again, offensive team, defensive team. Went pretty far, but the offensive team won here. But I think Endpoint's on a different level, and I feel like they should come out on top of this group based on what we've seen from this group so far. I have to go Endpoint here, even though I think it's going to be close. I expect this one to go the distance.
They just want you just want them to, you know, get some revenge for your team, right?
Of course. Like, I don't even know. Yeah, duh. I can't.